Hello, this is Mahlena Ray Johnson with For Nerdy Girls with Mahlena Ray Johnson. And today's episode is This Genius. And this genius today is Tiffany Haddish. So it is June 17th, 2018. Who am I? I'm Mahlena Ray Johnson. I went to Loyola Marymount University for film school, and then I went to the University of Southern California for business school, where I got my MBA in marketing, entertainment, and entrepreneurship. And I'm a four-time author. The fourth book is Love It a Luau. It is a romance novel about a refugee suffering from PTSD who is scared to fall in love with a single dad. So this is the fourth episode of This Genius. Yes. And let's talk. Well, I told you that the genius we're talking about is Tiffany Haddish. And now let's go to the description of what this genius is. Okay. This genius inspires colorful women around the world through innovation and communication. These are women working in television, film, podcasting, publishing, and other forms of media who should be celebrated on a global level. So we'll start by talking about these changemakers right here. And by we, I mean me, because I'm talking on the video. So why Tiffany Haddish? Why is she featured on This Genius? Well, as many people can say, I knew about Tiffany Haddish before the mass media did, before she became this media darling whom white media people think she's just so funny and hilarious and real. Like, she was like this all the time, but y'all didn't know about it because you just woke up and saw, oh, they're shooting in this movie. Like, anyway, people have said this better, but the thing that I would want to have a coffee chat with her about is surviving foster care and coming out on the other side. So I had seen Tiffany in other things before, usually stand-up specials. I'm not sure where. It probably was somewhere on Comedy Central or possibly on Comic View or some clip somewhere, but I had known who she was. And then when I got really interested in her was when she was on the mental pod. What is it called? It's of course. Why would I remember the name of the show? It's a podcast. It's a mental health podcast with Paul Gilmartin. And the reason I remember Paul Gilmartin because he used to do this thing, Dinner on a Movie, on TBS. So that's why I found the podcast at the first place. And I'd been listening for a while, and then Tiffany Haddish's episode came on, and I listened to it and went, "Oh my goodness!" Because a lot of who she is has been defined through her experiences of surviving foster care, and that led into her marriage that did not go well, and now she is on the other side of that, flourishing now because people have actually recognized, oh yeah, she has talent. She always had talent. I really like that she continues to be who she is. I remember last year before Girls Trip came out, she was on Hip Hop Squares on VH1, and she is always ready. Her catchphrase is "she ready," and she was doing the most with what she was given on that show, which was not very much, but she was definitely making her presence known on the show every time that she appeared on it, and not in an obnoxious way, but a way that was genuine to her. And then she was also on the Carmichael show, and I learned the story of how she ended up on that show. She wasn't cast, but she was filling in for someone else, and then she ended up on the show. The thing that still resonates with me and that I tweeted to her a couple of years ago is that listening to her episode of the mental health podcast with Paul Gilmartin is that I want to adopt children through foster care. And it's not just a lot of people think of adoption and caring for children as a second choice, or maybe even a third choice after the surrogate didn't work out. It's not usually viewed in American society as the way to acquire children. I wouldn't say it like that. The way to build your family. It's like, well, something went wrong, so now you're going to adopt a child. But hearing her story and hearing what she had to say about getting through it and the experiences that she had, and learning more about the foster care system in the United States in general, is that there's so many children who are just in situations, and they just would like a home that is safe for them, and maybe see adoption was already something that I wanted to do, so I was already going to adopt children, but it's something that I really want to commit to because there's so many children who are in need, and her talking about it just it's terrible, and having to try to raise her siblings, and I think she was 9, and trying to raise them, and like, what are you doing? It really spoke to me, and I would love to talk with her more about that, and talk with her about ways that she continues to tell her story, and maybe brainstorm ideas for her to tell that story on a larger scale than just what mainstream media outlets want to hear from her, which is being the funny lady. But there's a whole lot of depth in her that I would love to hear more about, and get inspired by, as I am right now working on my 5th book. So the 5th book keeps changing, but right now I'm working on a book called, it's the first in a series of 4. The series is called Smarter Than You. The first book is called The Genius Circle. It's about a children's boarding school for it's about a boarding school for child geniuses in the foster care system. So that's part of seeing her. It reminds me that this is a book that means a lot to me because there's so many children in foster care. A disproportionate number of them are Black children, not just colorful children. I mean, that is the majority of people who are in foster care, but Black children in specific, and they're in situations that they have no control over, like most children don't have control over their situation. So talking with her about that is what I would chat about. And why is she a genius? Because she kept going, because there's a multitude of outcomes to the stories that she was placed in and the situations that she was placed in, and this was not even a remote chance of her getting to live out her life to this point. And she somehow got there. So something inside of her got her to this point, instead of taking the road of many children in foster care, many women in abusive situations. They just don't make it at all, but she has made it, and she is a star! Yay! So I would love to chat with Tiffany Haddish about all of that. If you have a story about Tiffany Haddish that you would like to share, please email me at fornerdygirls@gmail.com, or leave a comment if you're on Facebook or on the website fornerdygirls.com. Or if you have your own genius that you would like to nominate, then please email me at fornerdygirls@gmail.com and let me know why this person inspires other colorful women around the world through innovation in communication. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.